Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Karaban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. And now today, I'll be coming out with a lesson. The title of this lesson is, the Lord has always provided, because every time the Lord has instructed the prophets, the men of the Lord, to lead and to guide Yasharala, i.e. Israel, the Most High has always provided. You know, he always has made a way out of no way. And he is still constantly doing that now. But without further ado, I'm gonna get right into the scriptures. Let them speak for themselves. I'm gonna start off with Exodus chapter 16. I'm gonna start off with verse 1. And I'm gonna kind of skip around just to get straight to the points. You know, just to prove the topic of this lesson. The Lord has always provided. In the days of old, even until now. This is Exodus chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness." And they murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness for the want of food. They were hungered. Verse 3. "And the children of Israel said unto them, Would Yahweh we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to fill to the full, Salakia. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." And see, once the children of Israel got out of Egypt and they were being led by Moses, once they got out in the wilderness, they started to murmur and complain, because in their minds, it was like, well, you know, maybe we should have died in Egypt. At least we was by some food, you know, by the flesh pots and some food. At least when we was in Egypt, we ate bread and stuff like that. You know, we had something to eat. So now y'all gonna bring us out here to kill us? That's how Yasharala was murmuring. They were murmuring against, basically they was murmuring against the Lord. But they murmured against Moses and Aaron. And they were basically saying, like, you brought us all the way out here so we can die? The Lord should have just killed us back in Egypt then, if that's the case. And to this day, Jake has that type of mindset. These our Israelite brothers and sisters, 2/3, you know, they have this mindset. They would have rather went back into bondage, back into Egypt, rather than to be freed. But continuing. Verse 4, "Then said Yahweh unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven, Salakia, for you, and the people shall go out and gather it a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no." So Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said unto Moses, said, "Behold, I will rain bread," meaning I will give them food. This is the Lord providing meat, food, something to eat. He says again, "Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no." And the Lord was just saying, I'm gonna allow bread to come from heaven, that I may prove my people, and every day they're gonna gather a certain amount. And I'm gonna see whether they're gonna walk in my law or not. But continuing. Verse 5, "And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they brought in, and it shall twice be as much as they gather daily." So he was saying, as it comes to pass that on the 6th day, that they should prepare their food, cook their food, and it shall be twice as much as they have gathered. Once they cook their food, meaning the Lord saying He was going to multiply the food. He was going to multiply the bread. That they, as much as they have gathered daily. Continuing. Verse 6, and Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, at even, then ye shall know that the Lord Yahweh hath brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we that we murmur against that Salaki? And what are we that ye murmur against us? So Moses was saying to all the children of Israel, at even, you're gonna know that the Lord has brought you out of Egypt. And in the morning, you're gonna see the glory of the Lord. You're gonna see his power, you know, his magnificence. And he also said, because the Lord hears your murmurings against him. And he says, and then Moses also said, well, who are we for you to murmur against us? Basically murmuring against Moses and Aaron. Verse 8, and Moses said, this shall be when the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, which is meat, food, and in the morning bread to the full. For that the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. So Moses was saying, in the evening, the Lord is going to give you flesh to eat. He's going to give you meat to eat. And in the morning, he's going to give you bread to the full to fill your bellies. Basically saying the Lord is going to provide. The Lord has always provided. And this is a perfect account of the Lord providing for Yashar Allah. And this is and I bring this lesson out to exhortation and the edification of the elect, because the Lord has always provided, even for 2/3 of our people who didn't believe, who murmured and complained. But back to my point, it says, for the Lord Yahweh heareth your murmuring. So Moses was saying to the children of Israel, like, the Lord hears your murmurings. He hears you murmuring and talking, basically talking trash, complaining, being unsatisfied. And he was saying, for the Lord hears your murmurings against him. Moses was saying, hey, the Lord hear y'all murmuring against him. And again, he says, what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. So Moses was saying, who are we? To the children of Israel, he was saying, your murmurings are not against us. Basically, he was talking about himself and Aaron. He was saying, y'all murmurings are not against us, but y'all murmurings are against the Lord. Verse 9, and Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord Yahweh appeared in a cloud, chariot. That's plain right there. In the scriptures, it calls the chariots clouds. It calls the host of heaven. Many different words, many parabolic words. But again, and it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua appeared in a cloud. And the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, your power. So this is an example of the Lord providing for his people. And in the times to come, the Lord is going to provide for the elect, the hopeful elect. Because he has always provided. He has never ever once not provided for the children of Israel. He's always provided, whether it be from food to being liberated from captivity, to being healed. When the angel, I forget the name of the city, but when the angel will come down and trouble the water, our people will go down and get healed. That was the Lord providing. He has provided food, he has provided protection, he has provided healing. And the Lord is going to do the same thing in these times. He's going to provide. Why? Because he has always provided. But continuing. But again, it says here, speak unto them, saying, at the evening, or at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread. And Moses did this. Ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power. And the Lord was saying unto Moses, and they're going to know that the Most High exists and he is our power. But continuing. Verse 13, and it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp. This is the Lord providing meat, flesh. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. Talking about manna, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. But verse 15, and the children of Israel saw it and said one to another, it is manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord Yahweh hath given you to eat. And they didn't know what it was. Our people didn't know what it was, so they called it manna because they didn't know what it was. But Moses said, this is the bread that the Lord has provided for you to eat. Verse 16, this is the thing which the Lord Yahweh hath commanded. Gather it of every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tent. So the Most High was saying, this is the thing, well, Moses saying, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather every man according to his eating, meaning you gather enough for your household, for every person in your household. Why? To eat. Verse 17 says, and the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. Meaning some gathered more because they may have had a bigger family. Some gathered less because they may have had a smaller family. Verse 18, and when they did meet it with an omer, which is, I forget what an omer is, but I'm sure it's a pretty specified measured amount. He that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. So when they went out and got this bread, i.e. this manna, and they got it to their need, to the portion of their need, or they gathered it to an omer for every man. When they did this, whoever had a lot, they had nothing left over, and whoever gathered a little bit, they had no lack. They did not want. Verse 19, and Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. So basically, Moses was saying, hey, no leftovers. Don't leave it till the next day to try and go back and eat it. But continuing. Verse 20, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. So you had a few Israelites, for lack of a better term, I'm gonna just say few. You had a few Israelites that just didn't listen, and they left it till the morning, and it spoiled. It went bad, and it started to breed worms, and it started to stink. It started to rot. And Moses was wroth, meaning Moses became angry with them. He was angry. He was mad because they were disobedient. Verse 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. See, they got this, they did this every day, according to their household, according to the portions of their household, however much they needed. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. When the sun waxed hot, it melted. So when the sun waxed hot, when it was the height of the day, this manna, it melted. It went away. Verse 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord Yahweh hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Bake that which you will bake today, and see that ye will seethe. Well, I'm going to say seethe, Salakia, that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. So again, some people gathered more, than they were supposed to. Two omers, meaning 2 measures of how much of an omer is for one man. And some went to Moses, basically, and told Moses. Some came to the congregation and told Moses. And Moses said, This is what the Most High told you to do. Tomorrow is the rest, which tomorrow is the Sabbath. So basically, cook what you're gonna cook, bake what you're gonna bake, and leave the rest until the next day or to the morning. Verse 24. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, as Moses asked them to do. And it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. So once they were obedient and they followed this manner, they did what Moses bade them to do, charged them, asked them to do, instructed them to do. And it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein. It did not spoil. It kept. Verse 25, and Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. So basically, Moses saying, eat what you have today, because today is a Sabbath. You eat today. So you're not going to find it in the field. But, continuing, 26, 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day. See, Yasharallah just got to be hard-headed. But again, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. See, Moses gave them strict instruction. The Lord gave them strict instruction. You can gather for 6 days. And Moses was saying, hey, you gather 6 days, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. And you go out there on the field, you're not going to find none. But here in this verse, some of the people went out the 7th day on the Sabbath when you're supposed to rest and not do any work. And guess what? They did not find this manna. They did not find it. Being hard-headed, being disobedient. And this was all a test to see who was going to follow the law, who was going to follow the commandments of Yahweh Yahushua. And the Lord said this in previous verses. I'm going to do this thing to see who is going to follow my law, statutes, and judgments. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read it again. This is verse 4 of Exodus chapter 16. And then I'm going to jump back over. Then said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So the Most High was giving a certain amount of food. He was providing food in a certain amount every day to see who was going to be obedient to him and who wasn't. And as you can see, Yasharallah, a few of Yasharallah, a small percentage, wasn't obedient. They went out on the 7th day. They was told not to keep it, keep the manna. They did it anyway, and it bred worms and it was stank. It rotted. But the ones that did what Moses bade them to do, and they did what the Lord said to do, guess what? They had meat to eat and bread to eat. They were satisfied. Their stomachs were full. Or filled. Salakia, not full, but filled. As long as they were being obedient. But continue, let's go back. Verse 27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for together, and they found none. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? So the Lord was like, how long are you going to be hard-headed? How long are you going to be disrespectful and not listen? Hard of hearing. Verse 29. See, for that the Lord Yahweh hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So, again, the Lord was saying, I have given you the Sabbath. I have provided you with food. I've given you double the amount that you're supposed to have. I provided you double the amount that you're supposed to have on the 6th day. But on the 7th day, you abide in your place. You stay in, you no work, you don't gather, you don't do anything. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day, because it is the Sabbath. Verse 30. So the people rested on the 7th day. Verse 31. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. So, because our people didn't really know what it was called, they called it manna. And it said, and it was like coriander seed. If you know what coriander seed looked like kind of small, think, I don't know, like a brownish tan color. Oh, it says white here. Okay, so Salaki, go with the scriptures. It says white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And if you ever had wafers before, you know they make wafers like the wafer ice cream cone. You know that cone is delicious. And it said here's wafers made with honey. So the Most High has always provided. And Salakia, I'm gonna jump down to the last verse because it tells you what an omer is. Verse 36, it says, now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. So these are measurements of portions. But 1 omer is the 10th part of an ephah. And, you know, if you want to further look into that to see, so you can make sure, you know, you have a full understanding, you got Google and different things of the sort like that. But for the most part, back to the point, the Lord has always provided. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua has always provided. And the Lord is going to continue to provide in the times to come for the hopefully elect. This is Isaiah. Salaki, I'm going to go to Kings first, then I'm going to go to Isaiah. First Kings. Chapter 17. There we go. Starting at verse... This is First Kings. Salaki, make sure everything right. All right, this is First Kings, chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 2. And verse 1, just to complete the thought. It says, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, because you know Ahab was being very wicked, as the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. Verse 2. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto him, saying, get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Another example of the Lord has always provided. And the Lord told Elijah to go to Cherith and abide by a brook. And he said, when you get there, I'm going to have ravens bring you flesh and bring you bread in the morning, in the noon, at night. And you're going to drink of the brook, meaning you're going to have food and water to drink. You're going to have nourishment. Oh, this is just another example of the Lord providing for who? His men that he has set up. And he set Elijah up to prophesy against Ahab, because you know Ahab was very, very wicked. He was very wicked. And he was living wickedly and doing things wrong, so the Lord sent Elijah unto him to prophesy against him. And he told him, it ain't gonna rain these years. He didn't say these days, it's not gonna rain nothing. So no rain, no water, guess what? Crops die. No, it's life starts to dwindle. And here Elijah was saying, and it's gonna happen according to my word. And then once this has happened, the word of the Lord came unto Elijah, saying, get thee hence, mean get from over here, get out of here, and go eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith. So like it by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And he says, and when you get there, you're going to drink of the brook. I have commanded ravens that's going to feed you while you're there. And Elijah did according to what the Lord said to do. And when he got there, ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. The Lord gave him, you know, in modern day terminology, the Lord gave Elijah 3 square meals a day. So the Lord has always provided, and he's going to provide in the times to come. Now, my last point, because this is for the elect, because the Lord is going to provide for his elect that he has chosen out of this world. He's not going to provide for all of Yasharallah like he did when he liberated us out of the land of Egypt, ancient Egypt. 2/3 of our people in this time, they're going to suffer. But let's get that. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. And that's what 2/3 of our people have done. And that's what they do continually. So they're going to be numbered to the sword. They're going to be numbered to this destruction. They're going to bow down to the slaughter. They're going to bow down to the judgment of Yahweh Yahushua. Because why? When he spake, they did not answer. When he called, they did not care. They did not hear. They did evil before the eyes of Yahweh Yahushua. And they chose the things in which the Lord delighted not in. He didn't delight in. He doesn't delight in sin and disobedience and transgressions and witchcraft and so forth and so forth, things like that. He don't delight in those things. He delights in righteousness and truth, guidance, instruction. But continuing the point, actually the first point, verse 13 of Isaiah 65. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Verse 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and ye shall howl for vexation of spirit. So the Lord is saying, his servants are going to eat in the times to come. When this food really get sparse, and the real shortages started to happen, he's saying his servants are going to eat. But 2/3 of our people, they're going to be hungry. He says servants shall drink. You go back to 1 Kings. In that famine, Elijah, he ate and he drank. But again, he said his servants are going to eat, but 2/3 of our people, they're going to be hungry. His servants shall drink, the hopeful elect shall drink, but 2/3 are going to be thirsty. The hopeful elect are going to rejoice, but 2/3 of our people are going to be ashamed. It said, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart. In these times to come, the hopeful elect are not going to be affected at all. Of course, you know, there's going to be trials, but for the most part, not going to be affected at all. It's not going to bother the hopeful elect. It's not going to bother, period. But for 2/3 of our people, they're going to cry for sorrow of heart and vexation of spirit. But the main point, again, verse 13, the Lord has always provided. He has never, ever, 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 ever let down his servants, let down the saints. Even hell, even right now, 2/3 of the Lord is still providing for 2/3 of our people. He's still providing for Yasha Allah. But in the times to come, they're going to have to feel that burn. But again, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Ha, Rakach, Wadash, Mama. The Lord has always provided. Shalom.